different. A lot of the fucking cars that we have now are probably just gonna be scrapped. A lot of cars on the road now because they're all just junk.
A lot of the cars from 30 years ago have been scrapped.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are inefficient.
Yeah.
Back in the day, 10, 15 miles to the gallon was good. Now, if you're not pulling 30 miles to the gallon, that's not good. I mean, look at my Corvette. It's 30 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, and it's a Corvette.
And it fucking has 500 horsepower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I'd rather that though, because instead of, because I mean, say 50 years from now, there is a lot of electric cars, like the abundance. Say a fucking 80-20 ratio compared to gasoline cars, it's still gonna be, to me, I still want to fucking start on my car and have that fucking power. You know what I'm saying? That the overall experience.
And with gasoline cars, I'll say the one thing with gasoline cars, all you have to do is fill up. It uses uses a compound that explodes inside of a chamber to move the car. I mean, in theory, if you have a full tank of gas and you drive for 3 hours and you have a half a tank of gas, your car technically got more efficient because it just got lighter. Where an electric car, dude, you start losing power, everything stops working, and then you got to charge it for 8 hours. Even if you can charge it in 10 minutes like a gas charger. No lithium-ion battery that I know of can constantly be charged and used. Charge and use, charge and use, charge and use, charge and use. Those batteries go dead. They break.
Yeah, well, I was thinking, like, you think there'd be a way to produce, like, gasoline? Like, because obviously what gas comes from oil.
Yeah, oil, what you do is you boil oil. You boil it and it separates, like, densities. When they boil the oil, it like floats, you're boiling it and the gas goes away. Some of the gas is gasoline, some of the gas is propane, some of the gas is fucking kerosene. That's how they make plastic. They take all these, they like capture every little bit and they use it all for different things. They make motor oil, they make all kinds of stuff with boiling crude oil.
Yeah. So, I mean, you think there would be like some way or system, instead of saying like, okay, right now the way we've been doing it is having these storage tanks underneath your car that you can only fit 12, 15 gallons of gas in, so you get a gas range. Instead of that, actually having a system installed to where you can turn this much crude oil into how much gasoline.
Yeah, but if you put, let's say, you put crude in your car,
or have different methods, like you said, some propane, some gasoline, some this, some that. Find a way that you can actually just use, because I mean the oil is going to be cheaper already. Like you get cheaper,
crude.
Yeah, you get cheaper crude oil, then turn it to gas. Now it's $1.87 a gallon, whatever. But yeah, if you have something that you can just turn to, propane can run fucking for so long.
It runs off of all of it.
Can run, yeah, it pretty much uses everything. And
I think there'd be a lot of leftovers. I think there'd be a lot of stuff that you couldn't use in that. Like, you'd have to build an engine that could run on all fucking banana peels and shit. Like fucking Back to the Future.
I have it.
But hydrogen. That's
water.
Bro, all you're doing is putting electrons in water, and then it's separating them from the water. So you're separating the hydrogen atoms from the oxygen atoms. Dude, you can make hydrogen with baking soda, water, and a 12-volt battery, and surface area and aluminum. It's literally, you put 12 volts to aluminum in a mixture of baking soda and water. The baking soda acts as a catalyst. It reacts with the electricity. The electricity separates the water from the hydrogen, or the oxygen from the hydrogen, and the gas that would produce is hydrogen. That's how they make hydrogen cells. There's limitless amount. The only thing you'd be using at this point would be the catalyst, which would be baking soda or whatever you're using. Water, after you take a gallon of water and you make hydrogen all day with it, you can still then use the water. You can make plants with it, you can drink it,
filter it,
do whatever. You barely probably have to filter it. All you do, if you put, it'd be just baking soda and water with electricity.
Yeah.
But what happens is you run out of catalyst. You could add more baking soda or a more catalyst to the water and make more hydrogen. But the thing is hydrogen's highly explosive. If there's a dude who did an experiment.
So I was kind of thinking, right, like, how would you contain such a force?
I would say a good idea would be making smaller engines. You make smaller engines that I would say aren't as powerful as like gasoline engines, but you do that so that you're using you'd use a fucking hydrogen cell this big that's running this tiny little engine, and we're talking about efficiency and future. So it might make 60 horsepower and get you 60 miles an hour, but it does it super efficiently.
Yeah.
You might not be doing 300 miles an hour or a quarter mile in 8 seconds, but you don't have to worry about it running out.
Yeah. Which in turn would actually help with a lot of the environmental issues going on right now that is raising concerns. Like global warming, for instance.
Well, they changed that to climate change now.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's still global warming. I mean, that's why we were watching this thing the other day, and it's like, it's showing the ice caps melting pretty much. And my thing is, okay, we know that the Earth is in orbit. We know that the sun is 1,000,000 times bigger than the Earth, or even bigger probably, whatever. And we are slowly gravitating towards the sun, right?
over time, yeah, the sun is pulling us in.
Yeah, so regardless of what we do, the planet is going to melt because that's just inevitable. So, I mean, it's kind of something that is going to happen regardless. But I guess what we're doing too isn't helping.
I would say yes and no, but like think about a volcano. One volcanic eruption is supposed to spew more carbon and shit into our atmosphere than 20 years of cars.
Yeah.
And volcanoes happen all the time. Another thing is there's evidence that shows that Antarctica was at one time a jungle. You know what I mean? Like the not only does the poles shift, does the climate shift. I feel like
so not necessarily saying that it's just going to keep getting hotter and hotter and hotter and melt.
Exactly.
We could turn around in 100 years and be back frozen solid.
Or think of it like this way, just like we were talking about the Nile Valley in Egypt. The Nile Valley was a fertile, I'm sure they thought it was global warming back then, and they fucked up something by blocking off the water or angering the gods or peeing in the wrong hole. But the fact is when an ice cap melts and a frozen tundra turns into a desert, I would say that a desert somewhere turns into a frozen tundra. It's just changing. You know what I mean? Kind of like think about our weather. I feel like this year was colder than it's 30 degrees right now. It's way colder now than it ever has been in my. I remember putting fucking Christmas lights in my grandma's house with shorts on one year.
Yeah. I mean, it does seem like, even though the talk is still, it seems like it's still getting colder and colder and hotter, like in the summer and the winter.
And I feel like
summers are getting hotter and hotter.
Think about like even our rain, and we've had like 200-year floods in the last 10 years. We just had one in October when that fucking dude, the water. I have video.
Houston.
Not only in Houston and Kings, dude. You didn't see that. Whenever, remember when it flooded really bad in October? I went down to Kingsland to a lake house, and they have, dude, there was boats on top of houses. I have pictures and all. I have drone videos. I'm talking about Malibu boats thrown in people's yards, jet skis everywhere. I'm talking about when they opened the dams, they were just pontoon boats and shit shooting over the dam. I mean, it was crazy. They opened up 8 on Inks Dam, or I think it's no the King. What do you think? One of the dams, they opened up all 8 floodgates. It's like never happened before. The Mansfield Dam.
They fucking flooded it.
Well, and they flood. But the thing is
the dam can't hold up that.
The dam,
much
if it holds up that pressure, or if it starts eating the sides, the dam could fail.
Yeah.
So they
really fucked.
Yeah, they release it so it doesn't happen, but it floods everyone downstream.
Yeah.
And dude, that's the big problem they had in some of these areas. Everyone opened their gates. Eventually, it led to somewhere that they couldn't take the water and they flooded.
Yeah.
A lot of people lost their houses and all kinds of shit. But I mean, I don't even know how we got onto that subject, but like climate change.
Yeah.
But the thing is I feel like it's just everything's in a cycle, and I feel like Indians and some of our ancestors knew this so much better than we did. We're stuck in the now. We don't ever think about 5 years ago, or you know what I mean, 100 years ago. Think about 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But they didn't have no fucking cars driving around 100 years ago. They still had fucking climate issues.
Yeah.
They had lots of, insane natural disasters that happened.
Honestly, what I think is actually more important than that is what we're actually doing to the plates and shit, bro.
The tectonic plates.
Yeah, the actual balance of the earth and shit, bro. Because we're pretty we harvest materials from mine rock and whatever, or sand, whatever, to get into make concrete, glass, whatever. And pretty much what we're doing is, we may use those materials to turn into another material, so it's technically, it's not like we're adding weight, because
it's like a law of physics. You cannot destroy matter. You can only convert it into something different.
Yeah. So pretty much what we're doing is just moving fucking 18 tons of sand from this side, turning it into 18 tons of glass on this side. So, but I mean, you figure you take how much glass do you think in pounds is in New York City and London?
A lot.
A lot. So, I mean, that glass had to come from somewhere, and that could be in a certain spot. I mean, it could all came from the same spot for all we know. You know what I mean?
See, that's where we're going right back to the climate change thing, or the climate. Glass and metal and all this isn't as bad as fossil fuels. We're constantly sucking I would say deposits of oil or old dead animals and stuff. We're sucking it out, and of course maybe we're filling that void or that hole with water or whatever else. But then we're turning tons and tons and tons of fossilized carbon into gas. That's kind of where it's crazy, but they're so that's what volcanoes do. The same thing that it does, and it does it at a rapid speed. I mean, it dumps cubic tons of shit into the fucking.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just think
rock.
I think the world has it has ways of filtering itself and balancing it out. Let's say, if it's really hot and the sun's beaming down and everything gets really dry, it also sucks up a lot of moisture and rains a lot somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or, if it's really cold and things don't get dispersed as much, they kind of stay where they are. Yeah. It's cycles. Just because the fertile valley of the Nile River turned into a desert doesn't mean that a desert somewhere didn't get turned into an oasis. The fuel, though, is just, in the last 100 years, we've used so much fuel and carbon deposits for things that we've never used before, and I think we're scared.
We kind of fucked ourselves really on that deal, because when we first started doing that in the Industrial Revolution, I mean, look where that got us. Yeah, at the time, that was the shit.
Got us there?
Yeah, well, at the time, that was the shit. And they thought they were on the right track doing what they were doing. Come to find out, that was the total wrong move. Like, even with a lot of iron and shit. So, really, we wasted a lot of time. I mean, you look at Detroit, you know, like one of the biggest cities in the world that's pretty much abandoned now. And probably has, like, shit, how much fucking rebar do you think sitting in there?
Just steel and materials. Well, the thing with Detroit was a lot of towns in Michigan. There were Great Lakes in Michigan. Before, you gotta think 50, 60, 70 years ago, they used the Great Lakes to transport goods. They would use the Great Lakes, they would use big boats, and so all these companies in Michigan and Illinois, they would I would say they would make these products, whether they're steel, glass, ass, or chickens, and they would ship them all over the world via boat. Well, because train couldn't go across the water, across the ocean and stuff, so boat was the best way. But then 20, 30, 40 years ago, a lot of stuff traveled by plane. So I don't have to live next to a port anymore to have the best distribution.
Yeah.
I can live in the middle of the Arizona desert and have a couple planes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of changed the game a bit.
Yeah.
But just like you were saying, the waste back.
Well, I mean, because, they invested a lot of time, like, on steel and shit, thinking that was going to be...
Yeah, a lot of resources, a lot of energy to melt the steel. But the same thing, it's great you say that. Gasoline. The person that invented the internal combustion engine, kerosene was the hottest selling commodity at the time. They actually would, remember when I said they burn crude and it separates into all these things? They have no choice to get, if it makes 100 things in the separation, they have no choice but to get those 100 objects.
And try to do something.
Gasoline was such a volatile chemical. They didn't know what to do with it. They were throwing it away by the fucking ton. So they had a scientist say, hey, let's get some way of using it. Yeah, they just give it. There's like massive videos of in the 1800s where they were just like dumping gasoline away. So they invented the internal combustion engine as a way to use gasoline, and of course it became the most efficient way to make things move. I mean, in reality, the gasoline, electric, steam is all just a way to turn a shaft. You know what I mean? To turn a shaft, which touches a clutch, which moves a gearbox, which moves a steel mill, a fucking paper mill, a car, conveyor belt, anything, a drill. I mean, it's all about turning a shaft. And they all want to know how to turn that shaft for the less amount of effort. I mean, there's no free energy, no matter how you think about it. There's no free energy. Energy has to be produced, whether it's by the wind, by the water, by magnets. And I mean, magnets are...
Well, I guess the only way... I mean, you can try to harness the power, kind of like what Tesla and shit, like do lightning and shit.
Well, yeah, Nikola Tesla did some crazy shit.
Yeah.
But Elon Musk, the owner of Tesla, he doesn't do much, like, I would say, with electricity itself. He just wants to make electric cars. He's got a lot of crazy plans. He made a fucking flamethrower and sold it to women people.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a tunnel where he was trying to tunnel under LA. Did you see that shit? He has like his answer to the congested traffic in Los Angeles is to make a giant tunnel that you can pretty much drive straight under the city instead of having to go through it. He's doing it right now. He's
pay for that.
He
I wonder
is.
how much that trip would cost you. Okay, you want to beat the 405? Come take the 409. That's what-
409 and 3/4.
Good luck finding it.
Yeah, you gotta believe it's there. But no, for real, like that's what he's doing. And I mean, think about it. If it was like a toll road.
Well, yeah. Honestly, I think if they did something like that, I think that should only be like emergency services or something like
Or
that.
for
like,
people that don't reside in the city.
Yeah, somebody who's literally just passing
Through 18-wheelers.
Yeah.
So all of the
transport
commerce.
shit, you don't have to worry about trucks blocking up city streets or having to
Blocking up city streets or getting delayed to their destination over a place that they shouldn't even have to went to.
Yeah, some fucking pedestrian traffic accident that blocked up the whole
Or
highway
some
for
fucking
4 hours.
people blocking the road because they don't like whatever's going on in their government or town, or
Yeah.
that becomes a big issue too.
Yeah, that's a crazy idea right there. I mean,
He's doing it. He's in the middle. He's already like in the process of doing it.
that's crazy.
It's crazy how a man can go, you know what? I want to build a rocket and make my own space company with SpaceX. Because he has SpaceX too. He's like, let me launch a Tesla into space. And their government's like,
What
this
he
dude's gonna-
he founded Amazon, right? Or
no.
not founded it.
PayPal. Him and someone else did PayPal.
PayPal, yeah. That's fucking crazy, bro.
Amazon dude's getting divorced. His woman's getting $68 billion.
Yeah.
Bro, I'd marry that dude for $68 billion. What's up?
Bro, that's how I told her. I was like,
2019, my guys. I'll marry that motherfucker in a second.
don't judge.
Hit me up, my guy.
Don't assume.
Don't assume my gender, Connor. I'm fluid today.
Yeah, that's crazy. He made a lot of money off of that shit.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Still making money off of that shit today. Every time you hear that any account.
But Tesla makes it, dude. Tesla has the craziest. This is the one thing that I feel like so stupid about anybody who buys a Tesla. Like, you know, I'm a fucking mechanic. I like building shit and doing stuff. If you own a Tesla, you cannot buy any parts for your Tesla. You can't buy any spare parts for a Tesla, and you can't work on a Tesla yourself. If your Tesla has an issue, you have to bring it to the dealer. They're the only people that have parts for it, and they can fix it for you. You can't do anything to it. How shitty is that? It's like, well, what if a fucking headlight costs 10 grand? Yeah.
Exactly.
What if it's like a minimum
they put
5
any
grand?
price on it? Exactly.
Minimum 5
Oh,
grand.
you want your fucking
Door
your
handles
headlights
to
to work? Yeah, it's gonna cost you $5,000.
Oh,
period.
your door doesn't unlock?
And you're at that point, you're already invested $100 grand in the car. Another 5 here, another 10 here, another 7 there. Oil change, it's $1,000.
Well, oil.
Well, yeah, I guess you don't have oil, but say a fucking battery tune up,
bearing changes, because
whatever.
bearings that go out.
Yeah, I'm sure they got grease the fucking hose or whatever.
Grease everything, all the electric cylinders for the locks and everything.
Yeah, typical maintenance on this gonna run you about $3,500 each time.
Yeah,
Every
that's
6
per
months.
door. You have 4 doors.
Yeah.
So we're talking 14 grand, my guy.
But I'm sure the salesman didn't tell you that when you walked in.
Oh no, of course not. There's actually a dude that's
value.
he's like tearing apart his Tesla and fixing it himself, like soldering shit. It's like there's a video I've seen of this dude who's
He's like, fuck the warranty. I'm getting it in.
Shit, dude, that shit's gotta be like. Think about all the electronics on it, bro. I've never had anything that electronic that works great for a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, shit fails.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't really trust it.
Yeah, it can't at all. I mean, and think of that sort of what we were talking about. Remember that? Like, let's say, I know you've had an alternator go out on your car once, probably sitting next to my house when I helped you change your alternator last time.
Yeah.
When your car loses power, it does weird stuff. Like when your alternator goes out and your car is starting to get to the point where it's not going to run anymore, it gets weird. Your gauges start working weird. Shit doesn't work right. Now imagine if you're in a Tesla and it's driving you somewhere
Yeah.
and its alternator or its shit's going out.
Yeah. Now you're fucked completely.
Or like it has an electric, because I'm sure it doesn't have an alternator. I mean, there's not.
Got some kind of converter, power converter.
Or it's just got batteries that run everything until the thing gets low. But what happens if there's like a faulty cell or something that doesn't allow it to technically run right? Or you're fucking sitting in your car. Of course, you're not supposed to leave it unattended. You're passed out in your Tesla zipping down the highway and it instantly stops learning how to drive. Or it's cameras that guide the road just go up and it just drives straight.
Yeah,
and you
one
fucking
faulty malfunction, which is how typical in modern technology. Way more than what's led on to be by these companies.
A lot, everything has problems, bro. I can't even download an app 10 times out of 10 and get it to work every time. So I gotta fucking uninstall the app, reinstall it. Bro, wait till you play fucking Red Dead. The first day I play Red Dead, you put your gun in your horse, and bro, part of my mission, the very first mission is like, you gotta go to your horse, take out your shotgun, right? Bro, I go to my horse, it won't give me the gun. It's like, there's nothing in there, I can't take it out, it's a fucking glitch. I have to fucking restart the whole game to fucking get my gun out of the horse.
See?
So that's just one example.
Main point of the whole mission.
Yeah, but
Big fuck up.
Fallout was like that. Fallout would have fucking glitches all over the place. And it's just an example of what technology does. It has glitches. Sometimes your dog turns sideways and it gets fucking filament everywhere.
Yeah, true.
Nothing's perfect. But that's kind of the beauty of life, right? Is the imperfectness and the randomness.
The spontaneity. Look at these bastards.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I didn't know there was two in there.
Well, that was good on that topic. We'll definitely catch you guys next time.